I'm here on Glenbourne Dam with Ian Ratton. I'm just going to run through how we're catching these guys on plastics. So I'll put this bloke in the well and I'll see how we go. So there's two different techniques we've been using today. One technique's with a 1/4 ounce, so a bit heavier, full of plastic, and you cast out and just slow roll those ones back. The idea is just to get the tail just paddling away. They just can't resist it. Another one is earlier in the morning, like this morning, we go to a 1/6 and cut it right down, put it right up in the shallows, right up in their face, real fast jerking retrieve. Try and draw their attention and they just suck it down. It's a lot of fun. Typically we run 5 or 6 pound fluorocarbon leader, so 5 pounds heavy enough. If you're in this sort of country you can probably go up to 8, but the bite's a bit tough at the moment, so we're trying to get a bite. I'm just running a 5 to 10 pound spin rod with a 15 size reel. I'm running 10 pound braid. What I find a lot of people doing, myself included, is when you fish at the edges, you stay too focused on the edge, and you neglect what's beside you, behind you, a little bit deeper in the column, those sorts of things. If you leave your sounder running, particularly on a split screen with your structure scan as well, in case the edge bite sort of slows down. So you'll notice as you drift over the weed beds in and out, you might find out that fish are sitting deep in the weed, so you'll be able to see them through the weed with your structure scan. If you pay attention to those sorts of things, it'll tell you when to change tack. So you might notice when you're first there, the fish are sitting on the inside of the weed bed. Over the course of the day they move to the middle of the weed bed, then they move to the outside of the weed bed. You might still be catching them on the edges, but if you then change and drift back outside the weed, maybe cast all the way from out wide to the bank and fish your way back through, pick up the active fish depending on the depth they're in. Choose the weight JIGHEAD you want depending on the area you're fishing. I like to start with a 1/6. It's pretty good for the shallow edges, and then move out to a 1/4 if it starts to get a bit deeper, or even go to 3/8. So now I'm just going to run through rigging up a plastic. It's often the finer details in rigging a plastic that people look over, and it may cost you the bites on the tough days. Depending on the plastic, I always like to trim the head so you can sit the head flush against the plastic. Lay the plastic beside the jig head to see where the hook point will come out on the body. Then just start feeding it on, careful to run it right down the centre. Lay it against it, see how it goes. Pop it out where you thought the hook lined up, and push it up nice and flush against that cut off section that you got. The whole plastic should sit perfectly straight from all angles. And there you have it. When the fish are tied to the edge, running your boat parallel to the bank gives you a major advantage. You're covering a lot of water, so you're covering the same amount of water, but you're covering more active water. Fish are in between the weed and the bank, then your lure's in there all the time. If they're thick in the top of the weed, sitting close gives you the advantage of actually being able to keep it above the top of the weed and just clip the tops of those weeds. I think that's enough instructions. Let's go out and watch some of the action.
Sun blazing, I've got too many flowers in my garden. I would like to see the sun burning down. Day to day of a death surfing heavyweight, caught in the barrel of yet another tidal wave. Control teeth on a bag of ties today. Well, I'm home. I burn to the end so you can't spot the difference. Home.
You got one. See you drag us.
I've got to see the man about coming round.